Yep, yep.
Whoop, 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 whoop. So, anytime, I guess.
Anytime, any crime.
One of these days, I'm going to have to put your face up there.
Oh God, break the camera.
Okay. So, anyway, nice day. Nice day. Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing today? And I can't believe it. I finally get to do my video outside. And it's been, I think, since early, I guess, fall of last year. And then it just got cold and it got windy. And
Yeah.
we've had some really interesting weather this winter here in the Southwest. And so today is so nice. It's clear, it's beautiful, the sun's out. It's a nice day. It's spring. We're already getting, in fact, I see, just looking around here, I'm already seeing flying ants. How crazy is that? And it's only February. We're almost into March. So spring is on its way. And I'm so happy because we've had some really cold temperatures going on this year. But anyway, so yay, I'm happy about that. And today I'm actually drinking a coffee kombucha. So, which actually,
Best of both worlds.
it's really good, guys. I'm not kidding. This coffee kombucha is really good stuff. I was surprised because, I'm a coffee nut, so yeah, it's good. It really is. So, and it's healthy for you. But, what I really wanted to do, I kind of wanted to continue in a way, I guess, continue, sort of. And these flying ants literally are like, there's one that just landed on my leg. I mean, I don't know. All of a sudden, they're like everywhere. I'm seeing tons of them just everywhere. So, yeah. But anyway, last week we had talked about clearing mental clutter and letting go and all kinds of different stuff. And it spurred on, I think, this conversation. It spurred on this conversation.
Use your journal as a tool to help you clear the clutter.
Yeah, so really going back to mental clutter again, because I think it's really important that we all kind of get clear of all that mental crap that builds up, And so that's what I wanted to kind of go over today a little bit. And something is catching our attention over here. Sorry, guys. This is crazy today. It's just bugs flying everywhere. But yeah, clearing mental clutter, it's one of those things that if you don't do that, if you don't have an outlet to clear all the mental clutter in your head, it's going to bog you up in more than just one direction. I mean, it's going to really screw you up physically, believe it or not, because our bodies are interconnected. People think that our physical body is separate from our mental self and our emotional self, but the thing is it's all,
not so much.
Yeah, it's all connected, and it carries over to relationships. I mean, even guys, if you're doing business and you have customers and clients, it's the same thing. If you're cluttered up in your head, how are you going to be able to be there for your clients, your customers, your family, your friends? I mean, you're not. Let's just face it. And so that's what we want to talk about today is just clearing that, how to clear that mental clutter. And we kind of hinted a little bit about it.
Yeah. If you revisit last week's where we said, just make a little journal, write down the things that are bugging you or things on your mind, or like a little mental to-do list for yourself, or things that you want to help yourself improve with, or anything that's creating an emotional block for you, or even a physical block. Your exercise program ain't moving to the next level.
Yeah.
You're reading a book that you just cannot understand, or you just have enough things going on in your family that you just feel like you're caught in the middle of a whirlwind type stuff.
Yeah, kind of like I like like what I said last week, a brain dump, so to speak. I know that sounds gross, but that's what you're doing, is doing a whole brain dump. And so, what I suggest, that if you want to do this, go out and get yourself a notebook. It doesn't have to be anything great, just a notebook or something. And even if you don't have that, get a piece of paper, whatever it is. Even if you don't want to do that, you can even type it out on your computer. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just want to really just get all that crap out of there. And the thing is, like I said last week, I think I was talking about this too. This is something for you and you alone. So that you don't really want to be sharing this with anybody. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. But I would want to suggest not. Because this is something that's in you. This is something that's really bugging you, fogging your brain up. And for somebody else to read that, they might make maybe some snap judgments, or they might...
False assumptions.
Yeah, false assumptions. They might agree to disagree. Or they might add something that you're really just not, you don't want to...
Or they may feel it's directed at them.
Yeah, or yeah, exactly. Or they might think it's directed at them, and then it could cause some really other issues. And we don't want to. We're not here to. You don't want to create that, right? You don't want to create any more negativity.
Let's not create more problems.
Exactly. So keep it to yourself. Write it down. Do it on a time like when you're not being bothered by things, when life happens. You want to just kind of.
But on the same token, you can do it at the same time as your significant other or a friend or something, and say, "Hey, I did mine. Did you do yours?"
Yeah, like an accountability thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't talk about what you put in
no,
there.
No,
It's not a discussion topic.
Yeah, it's not something you're gonna sit there and talk to your friend about, your best friend, your significant other, your whoever, right? It's not about that. If you want to have an accountability, like if you're like maybe, like with Toby and I, we do our business together, and there are things that Toby does that is different than what I do, and he has different thoughts than what I do on stuff. And so, like, to hold yourself accountable, saying, okay, did you do, maybe if you guys want to do that, if you're in a relationship and you're working on a business, or even if you're not, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just kind of have an accountability part to say, did you do yours? Yeah, and just keep yourself accountable. And don't feel guilty. This is one thing that...
It's a guilt-free zone.
Yeah, and I think, especially, speaking from a woman's point of view, okay, we have a tendency to feel guilty about stuff. Like, if you write something down, even though that no one else is going to see it, and you feel guilty about writing it down, like maybe you're saying something, it's really in your heart about, I don't know, something deep that's really been bugging you, and you feel guilty for feeling that way. The thing is, don't feel guilty for feeling the way you do, because obviously there are reasons why, and that's what's bogging you up. So just, that's what I would say, is just write it all out.
Well, and sometimes, you discover after you write it out that, you're the one thing that's bugging the crap out of you, like not putting the lid on the toothpaste. Okay.
Yeah, that's...
You'll find that that's not the actual thing that's bugging you.
Or the toilet seats up, maybe, and then you sit down and, like, for us when we kind of fall in.
Yeah. It very well could be that that's just what you've somehow, like the true item that bugged you in the first place, and then you come in and see the cap off the toothpaste. Now that is your point of venting. That becomes your point of venting that anger. It's not that...
Why is the cap off the toothpaste?
Yeah, just, and then it becomes a point of contention, because now all of your frustrations is centered around a stupid cap on toothpaste.
Yeah.
Where if you actually sit there and journal everything down, write everything down, no matter how insignificant you think it is. It does not have to be significant. Some of the biggest irkers and things that make us upset can be the tiniest things that, that just hits us the most.
Yeah, like, for like this week for me, and my eyes are very sensitive today, and I'm wearing glasses because, sunglasses because my eyes are, I'm just like squinting all over the place. Like this week for me, I actually had an allergic, wow, these bugs are going crazy. I actually had an allergic reaction because we've got pollens coming out already. We've got, the elm trees that we have here is budding. There's pollens everywhere. The wind's been blowing. And I have a high tendency to get allergies this time of year starting. And the beginning of my week, I was like so agitated with everything because my eyes were swelling up and these bugs are just getting in my face. My eyes started swelling up. My eyes were getting bright red and swelling up. We were actually doing grocery shopping and I couldn't see. I mean, I'm like, oh, squinting all over the place. And, it was aggravating me because I was like, come on. And then I had another, I've had some other allergic reactions this week. And overall, it's just kind of thrown me off course. So I was getting really agitated, and I would get agitated because I dropped something or something else. But the real issue was because I was having a lot of these head allergies and I was just like going crazy. So it could, that can very well mean another issue. So if you get really, agitated about something in your life or your business, you got to really sit down and think, what is the real thing that's going on? Because what, like the cap off the toothpaste, that may not even be the real reason. You might be going, that is bugging you, but you got to get down to what is really bothering you, what's keeping your mind cluttered up, right?
Yeah.
And
like right now, if I suddenly blow up and yell at Donna, and she thinks, she did something wrong, but the reality is I'm about ready to go burn an anthill, go blow it up or something. Well, it's two totally different things.
And see, this is why, I love having these conversations because, we're looking at it at different angles. Like, so for people that are working together, and it could be husband and wife, it could be, your significant other, your best friend, or you're working solo, you've got to kind of look at what's going on at that moment in your life, how you're being in that moment, like I said that before. And because all that mental clutter doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just go from, being totally clear to just bogged up. The reason you're bogged up is there's stuff that has accumulated over a time period.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the times procrastination will start kicking in. You don't want to really face something. And all you're doing is just basically stacking it on top of each other until you just get this big old...
Well, here's a...
huge thing.
Here's something that popped into my brain just now, and it's an analogy, Think of your mental clutter like a trash can, okay? Not saying all your thoughts are trash, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the analogy is, you have one piece of trash, you throw it in the trash can. You get another piece of trash, you throw it in the trash can. Before long, that trash can's full, but yet you don't feel like taking it out. You don't feel like taking out the trash, the trash and throwing it in a bigger bin so it can be hauled away. And so it just sits there and continues to pile until it boils over. And once it boils over, your emotions are boiling over because now you have all this crap all over the place.
And it's, odor everywhere.
Yeah, and it all stinks.
It all stinks. And that
emotionally, physically.
Stinks, yeah. I mean, and so I think that's a really good thing, I think, to start with. And this can be for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter if you are working at a regular job. It doesn't matter because we all have it in our lives.
Yeah.
Every single person. I mean, even kids nowadays, guys. If you notice the stress level I've observed this with just kids nowadays. There's so much stuff that we all take in. There's so much negativity around. There's so much coming at us at any given time. And if we don't manage that, if we don't learn effective ways to and healthy ways to manage what we're doing, it can get out of hand and things can get really bad. Um, so yeah, it really can just mess up everything in every aspect of your life. And the thing is, especially for entrepreneurs, and I keep referring, that's why I like to have Toby on here because he gives a different point of view on certain things. Um, but for like me, speaking from my point of view, when I get cluttered up in my head, I can't do anything. I can't operate on my creative genius level. Like, for me, a lot of the stuff that I do for business is around content, right? The videos, I do the videos, I'm writing the content. Starting to write a book now. I'm starting to get into getting my titles and stuff. And to really start to do that, you've got to be in a mindset to where you're there, you're in focus. And if you have all that crap just eating away at your brain inside, just bugging every inch of you, you're not going to be able to create for nothing.
Well, and mental crap can be as small as that tree root that you always stumble over, or
Yeah.
it could be you left lunch dishes in the sink. That's mental crap.
Yeah.
And it does not have to be big. It can be very small.
Yeah, it can. It really can. And, like when I first started working, when I first started getting into entrepreneur, to make that switch, it was a growing process. And I didn't know all this, guys, back in those days. And that's where a lot of people come from. They're not really taught this. They're not really taught how to effectively and have a healthy habit of releasing and getting rid of extra stuff. It's like, and I know this sounds gross, but it's like going to the bathroom. Okay, if you can't go to the bathroom, you're gonna get toxic, you're gonna get disgusting, you're gonna feel bloated, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna have you're just overall gonna be toxic, right? And
You're
if you
gonna
don't
have a bad
release
attitude.
it, yeah, if you don't release it, it's just gonna get worse. Well, it's the same thing with mental, bogging up,
Yeah.
constipation. I mean, your brain is just, it won't come out. And I know it's a gross analogy, but it's true, right?
Well, and it's not that you want to vent all kinds of such dirty laundry,
Yeah,
to the whole world. So now we have this journal
yeah.
that you just write it all in.
And you can get that
All the
release,
tiny stuff, all the tiny stuff, all the big stuff. Then, once you get it all in this journal and you start, after you write it all down, okay, and this is going to be a continuous process. You're going to continue adding stuff to it. But as you get used to adding stuff to this journal, you're going to sit there and have it on paper, and then you can look at it. Okay, you'll be able to look at it, and it may, be, okay, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. That SOB did this, And then you come back later, like a month later or something like that, and you're all like, why was I so upset about that? What?
Yeah.
But it's actually part of the mental clutter. We were going to talk to you about how to use the journal as a workbook.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, before I forget, when you do this exercise, one of the things if you're going to keep it, my suggestion would be don't look back and just brew. Okay, this is a tool. So when you write your stuff out and you go back to it later and you read it, don't sit there and let it brew back again because you're just taking it all in. That's not what
you're just recreating the anger and the angst.
And I think what you want to do is look back a little later and then maybe realize, and then get rid of it. Don't just keep it hanging around for 6 months, a year, and you look back and you're sitting there brewing because someone flipped you off driving down the road and it pissed you off and you're still mad about it. You let it go. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you're using this journal for.
Yeah, not to keep it.
It's a method to help you clean.
Yeah.
To help you release this stuff. You've already by writing it down, you've already taken the first step to releasing Now, the second part of releasing is when you go back and review, is you look at what happened or whatever was bothering you. At that point, you can take an objective view. Is this a something real, or is it just something stupid? That rock bounced in front of me because the kids over there were playing, and I need to be upset because why?
And it sounds corny. I had to say it. And sometimes when you're writing this stuff down, you're going to feel like, well, this is insignificant. This is stupid. It doesn't matter.
Write it all down.
Write it anyway.
The key factor is when you go back and to use it as a workbook, okay? You want to go back in time 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. So you want to accumulate this journal for that much before you get started. Then, after you have this journal accumulation, and write everything down. I mean, you saw a bird poop on your car, and it aggravated you, write it down. Just any.
Or clean the vehicle. That's really
Yeah,
what I'm going to get ready to do in a bit.
Yeah, or
yeah.
You're aggravated because you can't wash your car, because of the weather. Write it down. Okay.
It seems stupid, but it really is not, guys.
Just write it all down. Now, when you go back and review, it's been we'll call it 3 weeks. Okay. So you go back and review what you wrote 3 weeks back. Okay. Here's the questions that you want to ask yourself. Okay. Was it something to be upset about?
So I get a pen and paper, guys, and you might want to write this down so you don't forget.
Yeah, that's why I paused.
Yeah.
They can always run it back.
Yeah.
So after you figure out what, was it something to be upset about? If it happened to someone else and you've seen it happen to them, would they be justified in getting upset? Number 3, take a good look at it, what you wrote, and add a little comment how it makes you feel now. And make sure you do these questions in order. So after you figure out how it makes you feel now, okay? So, okay, you're mad about the toothpaste cap, okay? You looked at the other 2 questions, the first 2 questions, and you're on to this last one. This is why you cannot do this last one first. You have to do the first 2 questions first. If the answer is now it makes you feel stupid, that's what you write. And the reason why you want to do that is next time, after a while of doing this, next time you see the cap off, guess what? It's not going to blow you out of shape as much.
Yeah, it won't be like a big deal, like it was before.
And the 4th and final question is, can I remember what made me feel this way? Or what made me
blah, blah, blah.
What happened before this, okay, that prompted X feelings, or these feelings? Okay. And yeah, this is kind of, all about feelings and everything and getting control of your feelings, but when you sit back and take a look. We've already touched on this. It was something that happened before you walked in to see the toothpaste cap off that actually caused you to blow up, that caused those feelings. So the true root of it is what happened before that. Now you can take a look back even farther. Now you can sit there and say, wait, I don't have anything written in that happened before this toothpaste. What happened? Could it be that, the dog slobbered in your shoe? Okay. Could it be that you just got off the phone arguing with your parents? Or arguing with your children? Or your spouse? Or the neighbor? Customers? Clients?
It could be anyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
Your fifth cousin's neighbor 5 doors down. I don't know. That is one touch for getting the clutter. Okay? Now that's only if it's emotional based clutter. Okay? So you have emotional based clutter, you have physical based clutter. And sometimes they mix. Like the vehicle not being washed. Okay? Yeah, you're emotionally upset, and the vehicle not being washed ends up actually being a task that you need to take care of, and you're aggravated because you can't get that done.
Actually, that has been me. I have to admit, I've been wanting to clean our truck for 3-4 weeks.
Yes.
We got in salt in the mountains when we went up to the mountains.
Yes.
And
the weather has not been permitting.
There's bird poop all over it because we've been having crows flying on the mornings. And I'm sitting here you've got to be joking me, right? And so I wanted to do that. I was getting aggravated because...
Well, much more bird poop and we won't have to paint it.
I was wanting to clean it 2 weeks ago and the weather was cold. Or the other time we were going to do it, there was too much to do, and the end of the day came and it was too late. And today I'm okay, after we do our video, we're going to go and clean our truck. And that right there, and it kind of crosses over, by getting the task done. Ouch, I just hit my head on the tree there. By getting that task done, okay, once it's done, what you were feeling about it actually releases too. So I'll be until another bird poops on it again. But it can be anything, guys, stuff like that.
And then she'll be running around in circles cussing at birds, but
yeah.
oh well.
Well,
But physical things, okay? So physical things, just something that you can physically take care of. And, as you go through and, whatever's upsetting you, okay? You need to move this rock away from the path of where you walk, okay? Because it aggravates you. Well, one of the times that you're walking through there, you can actually move that rock. Now, you can cross that out of your journal, because in your journal, you said, hey, this rock always annoys me because it's in the path. So now you add it to a task. You make a task out of it. Here we go into the task list stuff. But you just add it into the task, okay? And this is still in the same stinking journal, okay? It does not go in any other book. This is in your journal. This is you, okay? It's your personal. If you put it in your business planner and your customers look, move rock, what? If you're a landscaper, they won't think anything of it. But if you're a computer programmer, they're going to say, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so, this is strictly for you. But now, things that annoy you, things that upset you, some things that you know need to be done, but you have an emotional attachment to it, an emotional dread to it. Now you can break it down. What caused that emotional attachment? Why is this a big deal to me? On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a deal is this to me? Is it something that I can make into a single task? Or does it need to be multiple tasks? Multiple tasks is like we were talking about, cleaning the house. Instead of barreling through organizing the entire house, start with a closet for a month. We've already talked about this in the previous.
Yeah. If you haven't
Okay.
listened to the previous guys and you're not sure what we're talking about, go back and listen to that, because this
Yeah.
one kind of ties in.
It does tie in
It
big
ties
time.
in. Yeah.
Now it breaks it into something that's not overbearing, because you've broke it into bite sizes. Okay, you can always eat an elephant one bite at a time, but if you try to eat the entire trunk, you're in for trouble. That ham bone may look good, but it's going to be a little tough.
Or they call eat that frog. That's
yeah.
another thing. Eat the frog first. You get the frog and eat it first. Not literally. Okay.
The
But-
small animal,
Yeah.
the small little beast that's annoying you. If you break big stuff down into small things, it's very easy to do, and you'll do it without even realizing it. It's scary how easy it is. Next question after that is, how will it make me feel once this is done?
That's a good one. Yeah.
And sometimes that one can be maniacal.
Yeah, and the thing is kind of visualize what it's going to feel like once you get that task done or whatever. And that right there, when you write down and visualize how you're going to feel about it, you're going to notice a release. And in two, once you do the task and it's actually done and it's checked off your list, you're actually going to feel, you'd be surprised some of the crap that just comes off your shoulders and when it's done, right?
Yeah, and it's amazing once you start getting things checked off. No matter how tiny it is, the amount of difference in getting rid of that crap is to you. It's just been insane.
Yeah. And don't let things go into emergency mode. And I don't want to get off. I know we're kind of going off a little, because as we always do in these conversations, because everything ties together, right, guys? Everything ties together. So don't get. Now I just lost what I was gonna say.
Emergency mode.
Yeah, that's right. Don't get into emergency mode. Like if you let something go and something go and something go and something go, and you know it needs fixed, you know it needs done, and you go, oh well, no, I'm gonna do it, not gonna do it, and then bam, one day it's gonna break. It comes to an emergency, and you're sitting there like,
Now what?
oh crap,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in panic mode, and there goes the clutter. The clutter, you just opened yourself up to all the clutter again, because now you're in emergency mode. Now you got to get it fixed today, and you may not be able to get it fixed today, whatever it is. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking at a bird over here, guys. We got lots of wildlife around here.
Yeah,
It's
that
crazy.
little bird's been circling
Yeah,
us.
I guess it wants to hear the conversation, right? But I mean, don't let things get so bogged up that it goes into emergency mode, because all that does is create more stress. More stress creates more clutter. More clutter. I mean, it's just a downward spiral. Is all it does.
Well,
You don't want to do that.
And that's why, when you see something like that and you know it needs to be done, it's going to trigger, an emotional response within you.
Yeah.
So it needs to be written down in your journal. Well, now that it's in the journal, you ask the questions. because now it's a physical task. Physical tasks, you can do these questions instantly. So you start going through those questions. And the next question with the physical is, if it's broke down, what needs to be done in order to complete? Okay? So, say it is something's going on with the car. Okay? And this is something everybody deals with. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Something's going wrong with the car. And eventually it will have to be taken care of. Well, you can sit there and plan out, okay, I can't do it right now. All right, say it's a lack of funds. Okay? I can't do it right now. But I can if I save X amount for X many paychecks. I can pull that money, set it aside out of X many paychecks, and then I can have it done. Or you say you fix your car yourself. Well, I can't afford to get all these parts at once. Okay. What if you get one part every paycheck? Can you fix it then? And then with that, you break down, after you figure out, you can get a part every paycheck. What part is the most pertinent? What is the high priority part? Okay. Yeah, I'm applying it to cars, but this goes for everything.
Yes.
Okay, just
Definitely.
roll with it. A part is a part is a part. So, what is the high priority part? What is going to make it not work? Okay, so you get that part first. I'm not saying you have to put it in right away or you have to do whatever, but you get that part first. That way you make sure the one that absolutely has to be there is there. Next thing, the next paycheck, the next item, the next paycheck, the next item. And then say you only needed those 3 items, put them in. Now, as you buy each item, here's part of the emotional response again. You're going to start feeling better because now those items are sitting there. Is that car now an emergency?
Unless it totally leaves you on the side of the road, but yeah.
Well, if it totally leaves you on the side of the road, that's a different thing.
I've actually had that happen before, guys.
But is it, even at that, you have the parts.
Yeah.
Okay, is it something psychotically huge at that point? So, I mean, if you're setting aside the money, okay, and you've set aside money for 3 weeks, and say you needed 4 weeks to set aside enough, and it dies the 3rd week, okay, just saying.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You have 3/4 of the money already. So now you're not put in a huge lurch needing the entire amount out of one paycheck. And this is all because you put it in this journal.
And same can go if you guys are not the DIY, is it DIY, do it yourself?
Yeah, do it yourself.
We're more of those people, but for those of you set aside money to go, maybe have people help you, and then we get people to help us. We get to have people help you if you're able to do that, or if you're not a DIY person and you. I think I'm saying that right. Do it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was just thinking. I was
good.
getting it mixed up in my head. If you're not one of those people, you can hire someone or get a friend or get somebody to help you and get a team together, and it'll still. I don't care how you do it, as long as you start, getting things done, getting things cleared out. And I know we can go on forever, guys. I mean, literally, these are subjects.
Well, there is one more part that I want to cover.
All right, we'll do that,
Okay.
and then we'll close out.
Because we can't leave them with all bad.
No.
We can't.
Yeah.
This is not about being all bad. Next part of the journal. Remember I said, well, we've been saying, write down everything. Everything. Well, this includes how the thought of going to a vacation spot that you want to go, or you always wanted to visit this spa, or you always wanted to uh, base jump off Mount Everest. I don't know. what have you? Okay, you wanted to mountain bike the Serengeti. Ouch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be rough. But anyway, okay, it's your dream. Okay, so okay, let's go with Bora Bora. You want to go to Bora Bora. Okay, you want to stay in one of those nice little huts out on the water, the nice blue. You want to, you just see this in a magazine, you're all like, oh, I want to do that. And every time you see it, you're all, oh, I want to do that, And then a friend mentions it, and you're all, oh, I want to do that. Okay. Well, that needs to be in your journal too. Okay. Why do you want this in your journal? Because it's also an emotional response. It's also something that you desire. Okay. It's also something that, believe it or not, is part of your emotional clutter. Yeah, I hear the question marks flying all over the place. What? What are you talking about? Emotional clutter. That sounds great to me. Yeah, but you're sitting there. How would I do something like that?
Or I can't do that.
Or
that
I
ain't gonna
can't do that.
happen. That's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
possible. Yeah.
Guess what? Now that you have it in your journal, you can break it into bite-sized pieces. What needs to happen to make this, what needs to happen to make it work? So you need to be able to book the rooms, you need to be able to do the flights, or get a boat, preferably not a rowboat, because that'll take a while.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are,
Yeah.
that will take a while. Let's see, you want food money for restaurants, because you want to go out and eat. So you need to be able to sit there and break all these out into bite-sized pieces and then figure out, hey, you know what, if I save X amount out of every paycheck, after 2 years, I can go. Holy crud. It is doable. Okay? That is why you want to put even the best laid plans in your journal. All the good stuff too. Okay? Your personal dreams, that car that you've always wanted. Okay? How it makes you feel. You want to write down, hey, I love the looks of this car. It's so awesome. It just makes me want to drool, just like, if I get this car, I'm going to have it with this, I'm going to have it with that, I'm going to have it with this other thing. It's going to do 2,000 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know.
with a bass system they can hear from bass system. I could be in the middle of the United States and they'll still hear me in California and New York at the same time. Okay. Put all this in your journal. Now you have all of this in your journal. Now you can sit there and do, even if it's guesstimation amounts of what it would take to actually do that, to actually make that car. Okay? To make that car a reality. You can actually figure out how much it'll cost. You can figure out how much you have to save for it.
I mean, you can go online, and if you're looking at, that's the cool thing about the internet. We can go online at any time. You can go and look and research stuff and figure out how much things are going to cost. You can break it down.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to go anywhere. You can sit at home doing this and figure it out,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, one thing I would suggest is if you're doing the journal. Now, this is just me, okay, because I'm a little more on the, what do you call it, organized side, I guess. You don't have to, but I would think if you, when you do your journal, have the same journal, but when you're doing your brain dump for all the stuff that's been bothering you, on a separate page or a whole separate area of the journal, I would like do all the stuff you want to do. That way you're not intermixing, all of it together, and you have, when you look back on stuff, you can look back to, okay, what's been bothering me on this side, and then if, on another part of the journal that's what I would do. And if it don't work for you, if you just want to write it all out,
okay,
that's
this
fine.
is where I'm going to differ.
Because,
okay.
That's me. This is what I would do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is where I'm going to differ, and I'll tell you why now. If you put in the good in between all these bads, okay, you're going through reviewing, using it as a workbook, asking yourself all these questions. It would be pretty easy to get yourself into a funk. Okay, if all you did was review the bad stuff. But then as you're reviewing all the bad stuff and you come across, hey, went to the movies and it was freaking awesome. I loved how the main character just swept this person away and just did this and did that or whatever. Okay, now all of a sudden you have a good point. You have an uplifting moment in that journal where now, you're going through all this bad stuff and you're all, okay, reflecting and everything, and then you're all, okay, you've done all this and you have heavy stuff to think about now, and then you come across this really good thing, this good experience that you had that made you feel, hey, this is awesome. Now you can sit back and you still run the same questions on it, but now it's of a good nature. So you're not sitting there constantly feeling. If you treat the journal wrong, it can become a bad thing in your life.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel that if you intermix the good and the bad like that, it becomes more of the true tool that you're wanting to help build, or to help, not just help you build, but help you to experience the life that you're actually having versus some type of dream world that you want to happen.
Yeah. And I think that you kind of got to figure out when you're doing the journaling, everybody's different, I think you got to figure out what's going to work for you. So, you can just kind of figure out what works for you. Just because what works for me may not work for Toby where it works for him. So each that's all I can say is be open to it, guys, and just figure out what's going to work for you and what's going to get you where you want to go the quickest, right? How are you going to get the release of that mental clutter and everything?
Yeah.
And once you do that, like you said, you don't just do it once and then stop. Okay, you don't just do it once and go, oh well, I don't need to do it again.
No.
This is a continual process. It's a process. You're going to get stuff. You release things. You're going to get things down the road because life happens, right? Life happens, and we're always going to be faced with some challenge. We're always going to be faced with some obstacle, something, and so this is a continual habit, a good habit, that you want to start incorporating into your life, into your business, and then just keep doing that. And once you start continuing that process, you're automatically, it's going to be like second nature.
Yeah.
Once you start doing it, you're going to automatically, consciously remember that you're going to be doing this. And then once you do that, you will have a better time facing the challenges, facing the obstacles, and in fully embodying the good moments, right? And fully being there, being present in the good moments.
Yeah. When we keep on saying write down the small stuff too, there's a huge reason for that. Think of the trash can. You pile up a bunch of small stuff, it ends up being big. So, as you go through this, even if it's the smallest good moment, okay, like Oh, I seen a small hummingbird today. Hey, that's a good moment
it's
in your
like
life.
it's like the bird I seen while here.
I
Cause
mean, if the
over
hummingbird
here,
landed on your nose and pecked you in the eye, that's not so good of a
No.
moment. But it's a moment, okay? Uh, everything comes with good and bad, but it's how you take it. And unless you have those small moments accounted for, believe it or not, sometimes it's the smallest moment that is the biggest thing in your life.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, and I'm just gonna, unless you have, I'm thinking we can wrap this up